been a long time, hasn't it? Well, I guess I've got to get back to the grind. Long time no see! Last time on Persona 3 Reload, we learned so much stuff. We learned about Tartarus and started trekking through it. We learned about personas, and shadows, and types, and abilities, and all these different other sorts of things. We learned about, shops and weapons. We learned about Twilight Shards. It's been a wild ride, but now we're back in it for the long run, and we're not even 5% into the game. It's gonna be a long one. As always, I'm Eire of Saturn's Edge, and, welcome to Persona 3 Reload, again! I'm glad to be back with a new video despite my long absence, but you may have noticed just a couple changes. You have noticed that I have gotten rid of the intro. Why is this? Honestly, it was digging into time and it was really hard to edit those together. I will be coming up with a good substitute for this, so be on the lookout. The main goal of this episode is to learn about all the various free time activities and all the other stuff that you can do in this game besides Tartarus and walking around and exploring. First off, we've noticed two different free time events now that we are able to do, well, whenever we have time. One of these is drinking whatever the school nurse whips up, and that would raise our courage. And the other is studying in the library, which raises our knowledge. These are both very important things, as these skills will allow you to access a variety of different things, like different social links, or even potentially abilities. Right now, we're looking at the school store, which actually has a variety of items that we can use to heal up out of combat in Tartarus. Or in combat, if we're really that desperate. That healing is going to definitely come in handy, but I'll have to check out the school store later, as I have a very limited amount of yen I can spend. In the last episode, I forgot to mention this, but we actually got to take a look at one of the more unique parts of the game. Not only could you go to stores and buy stuff, but you can also spend your free time not only increasing skills, but using those increased skills, and potentially increasing them higher, to get money at part-time jobs, which includes the movie theater and the cafe. Now tell me, Eire, why are you packing all of this information at the beginning? Why are you talking so much? This is definitely unlike you. Well, I'll tell you, I may have had an energy drink before I started recording any of my audio for this. So, yeah, I might be hyperactive and feeling a bit more talkative today, which is going to be really nice, especially when we're dealing with a very commentary-heavy episode. On the other side of things, I feel like being too talkative could actually lead to some potential problems, like I run out of topics to talk about, so I end up running into different things like that. Or potentially, you just think I'm annoying, and you actually liked my voice the way it was in the previous episodes where it was very flat and not often heard. The point is, look at what we're getting today! We're getting Hyper Eire. So, as you've noticed, a variety of the classes in the school are also clubs. They double up as clubs. And we don't have any access to them just yet. We're gonna have to wait a while for that because, well, we need to wait for some new member spots to open up. That's the term I'm looking for here. This would include the kendo pool and track team, also the art club and the home economics or like the textiles club. Pretty sure it's home economics. I don't know. But you could also join the faculty. That's an option too. I just have to be smart enough for that. Now, I know what you're thinking. Part of last episode I spent dedicated entirely to just collecting these Twilight fragments, all these different shards and things, right? Well, at heart, I'm a collector, and when I want something, when I see a limited resource in a game, I want all of them. I feel like hoarding them, and then using them for the correct use until I have 0 left. This is the real me, Collector Eire. I'm going by a ton of different titles today. Maybe I should make that the episode title. Why am I so adamant about exploring the entire school, even though I've done so like 3 times now? Or the malls, or the various other places here, right? Well, I want to explore them so that way I can better navigate things. I want to be able to, like, properly get to things as quick as possible so that way I'm not stuck on, like, a pause menu, or stuck reading a map for, like, a couple minutes. I like my content to go quick, especially when I'm playing a game. I try to slow down for the dialogue, and it's a bit painful, honestly, because usually I just skip through dialogue when it comes to some games. Because I really like getting into the action. I like doing things. Now, I will say, slowing it down has done a lot for me. It's allowed me to enjoy the game a bit more. It's allowed me to really just, like, look at everything a different way. It's something I really just needed to learn over time, is just to slow down when I'm playing a game, really notice the details. I had to slow down mainly for these videos, and for, you know, for the sake of noticing details and pointing things out. But at the same time, like, I really like doing this. I like noticing the details, I like taking in a full picture and, like, seeing everything for what it is or how it connects to something. It allows me to properly describe things, or to, like, really just talk about it in general. Things that maybe you don't notice that I would, or maybe I never noticed it and you might pick up later on. I have no idea. But by slowing down, we really get the time to appreciate stuff, like the 3D models, the graphics, the sprites. We get time to really look at things, like the location, or hell, even the weapons and stuff. Like, we get just to look at this stuff.
Let's see.
I know I'm rambling here, but, like, it's part of what I do. Honestly, I could already tell that this is not gonna be my best episode yet, because I'm just talking, I'm just rambling on at this rate. I think maybe episode 4 was... I think it's my best episode, but this is definitely not going on the list. Oh, man. Like at every other location where there's a speech bubble, we can talk to all of our friends at Iwatodai Dorm. It's a wonderful time because they all have unique things to say. Mostly, it depends on the day. I guess I could take a minute to talk about my personal life, because we've just got some free time before anything, like, really happens, I guess. So, here's the thing, I've never been to college. Like, I've visited various, locations. I've never been to, like, a proper university, as in, like, studied there. I basically, like, did the whole gap year thing, but then just went straight into working, because it just worked for me, okay? And the gap year was also full of work, so it wasn't like a free vacation. Anyway, basically the vibe I get from Iwatodai Dorm is like kind of a sense that I feel like I actually haven't experienced college in any way, because there's no way that like a high school or a college would just set you up in a dorm like this, that's like this good, I guess. I don't know what most dorms look like. Maybe this is like some Harvard tier thing, or maybe this is just like some middle of the ground. I don't know. Point is, it gives me like this false sense of like, hey, I'm in a dorm now, even though I've never been in one before. Anyway, we're back at Tartarus because I feel like, you know, grinding out my party. I feel like getting more levels, more items, more useful stuff, more skills, more personas for Minato here, because, you know, it's important. And speaking of items, thanks for the items, Mitsuru. I really need them. They're gonna come in handy later, trust me. So, you know, as it goes, we've got more free time to work with, so I can talk more about the personal life or behind the works sort of things. One video before this, I actually put out my first video with my friends. That was the Payday 2 video. I recorded that with Dan, David, and Buddy. Now, for the sake of, what is it? For the sake of clarity, David was actually the one to get me into the Persona series. He actually started with 5. So, the way that he started, it went 5 and 5 Royal. And I don't believe he's tried any of the other ones yet.
Look at it.
But, what I've done, I didn't ever actually play 5 or Royal, just yet. I went 5 Strikers, which is the spin-off sequel. And then I went to Golden, because Persona 4 Golden is, like, really good. I tried that for a while. I'm gonna have to restart that one because I feel like I messed it up. But now I'm actually playing this game, Persona 3 Reload, because honestly, this has just been a blast, and I've loved recording these videos. I've loved the recording of it, I've loved the editing of it, it's so much fun. I just really enjoy what I'm doing here. One thing I forgot to do in my last video was talk more in depth about what Nekomata is. I briefly said it, but I didn't describe it in detail. Nekomata is actually a cat yokai. A yokai is a creature described in Japanese folklore, and all of these yokai have their own like artworks that are made by various people. And it's pretty interesting to see all those different interpretations. Now, what Nekomata kinda looks like is more like humanoid in appearance, but it still has cat-like features, like paws, or like a face, specifically described in that artwork. It's a unique sort of thing to put in this game, I guess, but you know, I assume for a game made from Japan, there'd be a ton of yokai and Japanese folklore thrown in. From the way that I've described Nekomata, they seem pretty basic, right? Well, that's kind of wrong. Nekomata in the folklore could actually have the power of necromancy. But Persona 3 Reload doesn't exactly do anything with that. What they do stuff with is the association with strange fires and ritualistic dances. Now, instead of dancing, it's traded out for physical attacks, which makes the most sense, you know? But the strange fires also plays into Nekomata's affinity for fire-type attacks. I'm gonna be completely honest, I think that was like one of my best takes yet. As in, like, that whole section where I'm describing stuff, I think that was really good right there. I didn't have to stop or anything, I just had to keep going. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Oh, and of course, I completely forgot to mention, Nekomata is a part of the Magician Tarot type. Now, I'm not entirely all in on it, but this could actually connect to a couple things. The keywords for the Magician are willpower, desire, being resourceful, skill, ability, concentration, and manifestation. I think that with the strange fire things, we can definitely see manifestation, but also with the physical attacking, we can see skill and ability, like prowess, affinity, that sort of thing. But also the reverse keywords include illusion and deception, which make a ton of sense. Manipulation, cunning, trickery, wasted talent. See, I'm not big on that one. I don't think that one ties directly to Nekomata in any way. But the cunning, the manipulation, the trickery, all of this stuff that isn't wasted talent, it's perfect. It fits Nekomata almost perfectly. There, now I'm tired of saying Nekomata's name 400 times. We can just choose to forget any of that if you want to. I don't... That was a lot of times I had to say that name.
Could you please stop thinking nonsense and focus on the upcoming battle?
That interaction between Yukari and Junpei is actually really funny, especially when going back through and, you know, in editing. I couldn't really laugh at it at all during my recording because I was just hyper-focused on the game. So now that I'm, like, completely off, I could just, like, find these things and laugh at them for a second. And through the power of spamming ice attacks, I now have access to Shuffle Time. I really like Shuffle Time, I think it's just a fun little addition in the game. It's nice to have choices at the end of battles to see what you get, and there's like nice little prizes for it, especially if they're rarer, like these gems. The gems are so useful. Oh, and we got an Arcana Burst, which is amazing. I love Arcana Burst. It's always useful. Basically, it just buffs up whatever card you get. For example, the XP, the status, the health, skills, stuff like that. It helps buff these things up, and also gives you another choice at the end after getting that. Me personally, when it comes to picking out my cards, I usually go straight for EXP or money, because those two are insanely useful. I like leveling up, and I like having more money to buy more stuff. The health is only if I really need it, and the skill cards aren't exactly my alley, but I will try to get more of those over time. And you have noticed all the major Arcana cards, like that Magician and the Fool one, but the other one I wanted to point out was the Persona card. I will be collecting these as well, because it's a chance to talk more about Personas in depth and be able to show them off during battle, and it's a whole thing. You know the song and dance already. The reason why I'm more talkative in this episode is because, well, I mean, there's more to talk about, you know? There's more openings for me to actually just jump in and say something. I really want to be able to, you know, commentate on different things that are happening, or more about the game and my background in general, stuff like that. But it's mainly because I've noticed, you know, episodes 1 and 2 were not commentary-filled at all, but the main excuse for that is that's like the prologue, it's the start, you know, there's a lot of story. But with 3 and 4, I talked a lot more. I was able to, you know, get better at it. 4 especially, I got better. But this episode, episode 5, I wanted to make it something special, you know? It's been a long break. I've decided to just, you know, do some thinking on, like, how to go about things. And, I mean, I just want to talk more. And I just feel better when I talk more like this, because it makes my content feel more full. It makes it feel more interesting instead of just boring and empty like the first couple episodes. Also, I told you the Magaru gem was going to be insanely useful during this. The only person with wind skills on our team is Yukari, and she goes last. So, the gems are going to be really helpful in that case. And Obsaros returns to our party! Yay! That yay was probably the only amount of emotion that you're ever gonna get out of me for, I'd say about 3 episodes. Items have multiple different classifications inside this game, like most RPGs. Now, I was going through my bag just to figure out my inventory situation. They do have an order obtained thing, which I kinda like, but I prefer sorting things out. Now, items and various other pieces like that fall into many different categories. You have your equipment, which is mainly just stuff you're going to equip to your character. This would be weapons, armor, shoes, oddly enough, and little sashes and stuff, those, little bonuses that I put on. There's also your healing items, which is pretty obvious, your battle items, which are like the gems, stuff that only works in battle. You have your skill card section, which, skill cards, very important to have if you need them, for, I don't know what purpose, mainly just giving more variety to your persona. You also have your key item section, which is absolutely necessary, but also treasures. Treasure is stuff that you can pick up off of an enemy after the battle is over, whenever you beat them. It's mainly the stuff like the tiara, the whatever, It's stuff that you can sell for later or keep around because some people might actually need that for different quests. Now, the game talked about it earlier, and I don't know if I have, because I don't rewatch my videos whenever I get over with them. I usually only do that for, knowing what I gotta talk about next. Anyways, these little dark spires with, like, the orange thing that we're smashing by attacking them, these may or may not contain treasures. That's why I'm doing it. I really want extra treasure, so I can sell later for more stuff. Simple. I believe in having a lot of money in this game. Or any game. Anyways, more free time talk. One thing that I really like in modern-day RPGs and a lot of modern games is the animations in them. The actual animations that get put, for characters attacking, getting damaged, going down, using magic, all this different kind of stuff. I really like how fluid these look. These look really smooth, nice, polished, and I just wanted to take some time to focus on them because I figure it's a nice time. Now, this is an interesting lesson that I had to learn over time because it's a mistake that a lot of gamers can actually make. Frames per second, FPS, this term. This typically refers to the frame that you can make an input. Now, when you're gaming, you want your FPS to be extremely high, because the more frames that you are able to make an input on, the more, basically the faster you can do it, okay? If I have 30 frames per second in a game, right? I can only make an input on one of those 30 frames. If I had 200 frames per second, I can make an input on one of those 200 frames. In a second. That's how important it is. With animation, though, you want lower frame rates. Not as low as, like, 2, but that's an option. You mainly want to do 30 or 24 around this area. The reason why is because it saves time on work. So technically, while the game is running at 60 FPS, the character animations and various other animations inside the game run at 30, or 24, depending on what exactly the creators and animators and developers really went for. Now, why am I dedicating my time to talking about this? Something that's completely unrelated to Persona, or me, or my life, or whatever. Well, I wanted to spread the word and talk about this more, because it's a very interesting and kind of unknown thing. To gamers, we think that more frames is better because that's what we can input on. When, with the animation side of things, less frames is better because it means less work. The psychological reasoning behind this is if you take a 30 frame per second animation and you put it in front of me, and a 60, you could actually barely tell the difference, because our brain will actually fill in the gaps of the 30 frame per second video. And there are no massive gaps, because if you think about it, that is 30 images put into 1 second of animation. And the other one is 60. That's double the amount. You do not need that many pictures in a second of animation. You only need the 30. it's important to have this awareness between what would be considered the animation frames per second side of things and the gaming frames per second side of things, as these two can constantly collide because people don't exactly know the difference because we just don't take the time to learn these things. Anyway, thanks for coming to my little lesson on animation and what frames per second actually means to both gamers and animators. Anyway, as you can see, we have picked up a new persona. Their name is Pixie. Pixie is specifically based on, well, actual pixies from fairy tales and folklore and stuff like that. Mainly English, as in, like, England. What makes them interesting is that they actually have an affinity for electric skills, and there's a ton of things on pixies that I can talk about. First, we can talk about what a pixie is. A pixie and a fairy are not one and the same. Fairies are typically more kind, but pixies, on the other hand, are way more mischievous. They like to play pranks. And this is a kind of a unique thing to have more of a, kind of an opposite to what a fairy is, especially around the time that this folklore was made. Mainly, pixies are known for, like I said, cheap pranks. Like stealing horses or calling out your name in the middle of the woods. Just stuff that just barely means anything. Well, actually not the horse thing, that's pretty serious. Anyway, it's also believed that they are the souls of like dead, unbaptized children. Which, you know, in England was a pretty big deal that you had to baptize your child. Because at the time, England was very heavily Catholic. Now, Pixie is a part of the Lover's Arcana, which is one that we haven't really talked about much, I should say. We only really talked about it with Yukari, so we're just gonna briefly go over it again. Love, unions, partnerships, relationships, choices, romance, balance, unity. All of these things don't really apply to Pixie, or any pixies in general, they're just kind of mischievous. So, what if we look at the reverse part of things? Disharmony, imbalance, conflict, detachment, bad choices, and indecision? Well, I mean, most of those didn't sound right, but disharmony, imbalance, those two sound pretty likely up Pixie's alley. So it's likely that the reversed arcana for the lovers is more akin to Pixie than the actual upright one. As you can see here, I'm doing my basic prep of healing everyone, checking out my inventory, you know, doing all these things. This is mainly because on certain floors of Tartarus, we are going to be able to have special fights. Not boss fights, but they're more unique enemy fights where the enemy is a lot stronger than we think they are. And what could be stronger than a pile of sludge or a weird orb-shaped thing? Well, I'll tell you, it's two birds carrying lanterns. It is always two birds carrying lanterns.
This is beyond the level of an ordinary shadow. Watch yourselves.
Thanks for the tip, Mitsuru. I am really deathly afraid of two birds carrying lanterns. Speaking of these birds, let's talk for a minute here. What kinds of shadows have we encountered so far? Yes, the bird counts as a shadow. We have encountered exactly 4 different kinds, 2 of which are exactly the same. The Maya. These two that we've encountered so far have similar appearances, but they have one unique trait. These are what I would call a very basic low-level enemy shadow. They have a very basic design, it's a pile of sludge. I have no idea why it's called the Maya, actually. I think maybe it's supposed to be close to miasma, which is a word that means sludge. However, that's only what I can guess. These two that we've encountered are the Cowardly Maya and the Merciless Maya, both of which have their own sets of weaknesses and arcana that they belong to. Take note of that, we may encounter more of them. The one that's been floating off of the ground with a weird orb-like head, you know, that's been hollow and weak to wind, that right there is the Muttering Tiara. Kind of weird that it's weak to wind, but, you know, that's how it goes, I guess. And this one that we're fighting right now falls in a Raven category. Yes, there are multiple Ravens in this game. There's multiple of everything in this game, really. They had to keep stuff simple. This specifically, this variant, is the Ice Raven, which is typically found at higher levels. However, because of these special fights that happen every once in a while, we are able to encounter higher level enemies at lower levels as special boss fights for the floor. And it really spices up the game too, because these guys are strong. And they're actually smart too. They're not weak at all.
Nicely done.
Both in intelligence and in strength. They will mess you up if you don't have the right stuff ready for you. And even if I beat those two birds pretty easily, I guarantee that not all these fights are going to be easy. You are going to see me struggle with a couple of these. Genuinely, it gets really hard as it goes on.
I guess not all of them are totally weak, but they still don't stand a chance against me.
Also, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why, especially for the early game,
Let's see.
that they the in-game dialogue, right? I don't get why it constantly tells us, like, hey, you need to take a break, get out of Tartarus for a minute, heal up, restore. I get that it's the early game, and we have low HP and low SP, but we could go on for longer if we chose to, and the more that we level up, the longer we could go. It's kind of a basic thing. I kind of wish that they didn't push the whole, get out of Tartarus early, restore your health, save for tomorrow. Like, I wish they just didn't push that so hard, especially in something like the early game, when this is, like, the most action you've gotten in the last, 4 hours? It's just something that bugs me a little, and I wanted to bring a little bit of attention to it. It's not bad, it's just, like, it's a little bit, just annoying sometimes,
Take a look.
Anyway, now that little miniature rant is over with, we're bringing Orpheus back into the party, that's right! The main reason why is because I just like having personas in my party. I like keeping a full stock of them. It's mainly to help out with the types and stuff like that, The more full an inventory is, the better.
Shall we take a look? What kind of persona do you desire?
I know I'm going through the whole fusion screen right now, and you're gonna see a lot of different personas early and stuff like that. I'll explain them later. They don't need to be explained now. The way that I see it is if they don't touch my party, if they don't touch my stock, okay? That's what I call my party of personas. If they never touch my stock once, then it's not worth talking about. The second that they enter it, I'm going to talk about them. It's just, it's a personal thing. I'd rather not jump ahead too early.
This power might be too much for you. Are you finished? We look...
I know I complained about it earlier, but, I'll take Mitsuru's advice for now. Mainly because I can just come back later and keep going through it at higher levels and for longer, and the whole gist. Just grind. Rise and grind. That's how we do this.
Yo. You sure? Yo, hey man, I'm gonna get some ramen after school. You wanna come? No reason really. Just don't have anything to do later. Plus, I figured we could finish our chat from this morning. So how about it, man? Let's get some ramen at the mall and...
I'm gonna be honest for a second, I'm not really a big fan of ramen. It's just not my thing. I guess I just haven't had a good bowl of ramen. I much prefer a teriyaki chicken bento box. It's got it's the chicken, the sauce, right? But I mean, the vegetables are good, and that's usually something I wouldn't eat. And the rice, basically everything that it comes with, I mean, I just love it. That's how you do a meal. I love it. I love that bento box.
My bad. I always geek out a little whenever I eat here. You do? Really? You taste the magic too? Man, I wasn't expecting that. I think I'm liking you more by the minute. By the way, I hear you and Takeba-san are pretty close. Damn, you just transferred here too. Well, I can't blame you. Man's gotta be aggressive in this day and age. Hey, let's hang out after school again sometime. Let me know when you're free. I'll tell you all about my secret plan. Dude, you're gonna flip when you hear it.
I am thou. Thou art I. Thou hast established a new bond.
And there we have it, our first proper social link. The Magician Arcana, Kenji Tomochika. I'm sorry for talking a little bit over the social link itself, or the start of it, I should say. But, you know, just a reminder, I'll leave these social links a bit more open and empty, that way you can hear them and, like, properly understand the character. But so far, we've gotten to know 2 things about Kenji. Well, 3 things, actually. He has a secret plan, he's kind of into rumors, and he likes ramen. He geeks out about ramen. Or, more likely, food in general, as of the way he described tasting the magic. That's something a person who really likes food would actually, like, say. Like a food critic or something, right? Because we just started to get to know Kenji, I will not be describing how he connects to his Arcana. Why? Well, he's an optional character, technically. All social links are optional. But I feel like it's better to watch it play out and then discuss it afterwards, or after one of the events, to really talk about how it connects to the Arcana, or him as a character, rather, as it opens up more possibilities and allows you to see him develop actively, and that's you seeing it, not me just telling you to see it. I prefer that sort of approach. Because I'm a weirdo, guess where we're going? We're going to the shop, where all of the weapons are. Oh, yeah. I am a total loser. I am so sorry.
What are you looking for?
Anyways, you remember those treasures from earlier? The ones I mentioned that you pick up off of dead enemies? Or those, I don't know what to call them, but you know, the smashable stuff. We're selling them! And now we have more cash. I'll just leave you with the music for the time being. I feel like just a nice chill moment. A break from me rambling, really. Enjoy. That wasn't that enjoyable. That music is just really comforting at times. Very relaxed and chill, especially when it needs to be. I think that's exactly what we all need. It's just a little something to listen to take a moment from the action and just relax, you know? After hearing a lot of important information about the track team, I know exactly where we're going. That's right, we're gonna join the track team. At one point in time in real life, I did actually want to join the track team. Problem was, when I was growing up, I wasn't exactly athletic in any way. I could not lift, I could barely run without passing out. It was it was pretty bad. I grew up pretty weak as a kid, honestly. But the action of running did actually help me for a while. Over time, I'd actually built up my endurance and overcame something, so that was pretty nice. And then COVID hit, and then I never got that chance to, you know, keep running. So it kind of came back. So I'm not exactly at, you know, absolute zero, but I'm pretty close.
Welcome aboard. I'm Yuko Nishiwaki.
She's our team manager. She'll answer any of your questions.
You're a second year, right? Since we're in the same grade, you can just call me Yuko.
Let's see. Hey, Miyamoto.
Yes.
This here's our future team captain. Great runner and places well in competitions. You two are in the same class, right? Miyamoto, keep an eye on the new guy here, okay?
You got it. You're the guy who went out with Takeba on the first day of school, right? You're practically a celebrity. I'm Kazushi Miyamoto. You've seen me around, right? Then, long story short, from now on, you're mine after school. You better not think you're getting the easy treatment just because you joined mid-season.
I grew up with asthma since birth, so when I tried out for the track team, it didn't go out so well. But during sophomore year of high school, during my free time in PE, I would just run for 30 minutes straight every day because I guess that's just what we did. So when I did that every day during sophomore year, I actually beat my asthma. I was able to overcome it. And it made me feel good to actually get rid of something like that. And hell, even if it's present now or it came back in some way or some stupid garbage right like that, it's nice knowing that I tried and I actually did overcome it at one point in time, and I could do it again if I really put my heart to it.
Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Anyways, real life thoughts aside, we just got our next social link, and that is the Chariot Arcana, the entire track team, mainly Kaz. It's gonna be interesting. Again, not gonna talk about it until more stuff happens. You know how it goes.
Oh, hello.
I'm thinking because Yuko has an actual name compared to most characters, I think that she does have a social link, and she does. I just need to find a way to get to it, so I'm gonna keep playing the game through until eventually I can, you know, get more social links, get more stuff going. I heard about this sort of, chain that you had to interact with. It kinda went down a specific line, like, you had to do this social link to unlock this one, you had to hit this milestone and this one to get the next one. I kinda want to figure out what that is, so that way I can get every social link I can.
Hey.
Let's see.
Well, guess where we're going? That's right, back to Tartarus, as always! Man, I like Tartarus. This is like, I just like having a lot of action happen in this first part. This fighting, the exploring, it's what I do. I like it. Since we made it further into Tartarus and unlocked one of these teleporters, we now have access to this floor, meaning that we can just jump straight from the first floor, our current location, to the 5th floor. And different floors will have different layouts. Typically how it goes is that the elevators on special boss floors are always going to be permanent, so I can constantly hop between that floor and, like, the lobby, or that floor and another special floor.
How's work?
So I don't really have a lot to talk about right now, because we're kind of in the gap zone where
Treasure?
there's not much I can talk about, and there's not much I want to talk about, so I'm just gonna leave you to it. For a little bit, anyways.
Is that? Let's do this.
All right. When you knock an enemy down, shifting allows you to leverage that opening to let someone... Once you do, your offense can follow up with whoever you passed your action to. If you can coordinate well... You should all be experienced enough to pull this off now.
Finally, a new game mechanic that's gonna really help us during battles. I really love shifting in this. It's just so good. It's so helpful. I feel way better. No longer does Junpei need to use those stupid wind gems. Now we can just switch it to Yukari if we feel like it. I prefer this so much. Shifting is like the most useful thing in this entire game. Like, this fight would have actually taken me, you know, not that long, right? Maybe like 30 more seconds, right? But that's 30 more seconds with a risk of damage being taken, a risk of, like, a waste of SP, more potential, like, risks on top of that of, like, a party member, fainting, or whatever, right? But that's also, like, 30 seconds I can just save and move on to the next fight, or whatever. I could spend more time exploring and doing stuff. I like being very time-oriented when it comes to games. I like playing fast if there is an option for it. Because I like this fast-paced action where you can choose what your next move is. Shifting helps me do that by cutting off certain amounts of time in battle to spend more time just doing other things. Once again, I'm sorry for all, like, the rambling I'm doing in this episode. I work a lot better when there isn't a script. As in, like, I'm able to talk more and add more to what's going on if I don't have a script. If I did have a script, I'd be able to read it fluently, but quickly.
Well done.
So there's kind of a problem there. I used to record spots in radio, so I know exactly how I'm going to do things. But with this, specifically, this rambling, this constant, like, stream of word vomit, right? I'm actually able to provide commentary in empty spaces where it feels necessary for me to talk, you know? An empty video is not that great, to say the least. And I really want to make up for episodes 1 and 2, where there wasn't a lot of conversation, and 3, where I was starting to get into it, but not. I just want a chance to really, like, be more present in videos, I guess. I did not see this when, like, for a while now, but it's official that Atlus has the Persona 3 Reload soundtrack on Spotify. So if you actually want to listen to the soundtrack without any of the sound effects or any of this other stuff, or me, you could go to Spotify and listen to it, because, honestly, the Persona 3 Reload track, really all the Persona game OSTs, are amazing. And I like that you can actually access them on Spotify. So please, you know, if you want to check out a couple of the songs that are happening in the background, go for it. The playlist and the album are right there on the app. You can easily find it. It's a really good listen. And for the third time this video, I will shut up. I have talked way too much, and I don't know. Just enjoy this for now, you know.
Let's get a move on, party people. You gotta run, fight, and climb stairs. You know, I'm actually pretty fit, huh?
I wonder, maybe we're this strong because of the power of our personas. Or maybe not. A shadow!
New enemy type spotted! That's right, we're dealing with magic hands. I am so sorry, but this is stupid. I mean, earlier we were fighting birds with lanterns and weird sludge on the ground, but now we're literally just fighting a hand with a face. no complaints on the game. It's just enemies. I swear, they always just, like, manage to be stupid in some way, and I love it. And we have just acquired a new persona, Angel. That's right, this is literally just an angel from, well, Christianity. And it falls under the justice category because, well, I mean, it's an angel. It's kind of self-explanatory, really. It's just an angel. There's not really much else to say. Other than a couple little facts I will shout out now. A couple things that make the Angel unique is it is one of the few personas that we've gotten so far in the early game that is able to use wind skills, but it's also one that's mainly used for buffs on your party, which is really nice. It has the ability to cure status effects, it can buff up your, I believe it's your attack. But here's an interesting little fact about the Angel. The design for this Angel actually comes from a movie. It is called The Fifth Element, and it was made back in 1997. Mainly the costume design is what the inspiration is from. And it's really nice to see that it doesn't just take inspiration straight from, like, the Bible, but rather from pieces of pop culture and media that, I mean, I never heard of this movie, so I'm gonna be real, I might check it out later. Could be interesting to really watch.
Let's see. Oh, that reminds me. It's a treasure chest.
The way the shadows...
Alright, do this!
Two in a row!
Alright, the enemy's down! The enemy...
You're on a roll!
Get ready.
Let's do the same thing for our next fight.
Three targets and they have the advantage. Yes. You dodged it. Well done.
How about one good go?
Good. That's one less to worry
What's
about.
next?
Leave it to me!
Go for it!
Yeah, leave it to me! In this situation... Yo!
The enemy's down. Good hit.
You take it from here!
I'll go with.
Let's do the same thing for our next fight.
wandering around.
Detecting 3 targets. Take them out.
What's next?
Enemy down.
Can't stop
Keep
it
that
now.
up, Yuri. The enemy's down. Good hit.
I'm ready.
I'll leave it to you.
Here I go. What next?
Nice one, son.
We're not gonna go easy. So you can't run. This is the end. That went great. Doing pretty well. Ooh, maybe there's something nice inside.
There's 2.
got the advantage.
Here's your
What's
chance to
next?
attack. Enemy down. Keep that up, Yuri.
I'll go with.
The enemy.
Well, that was a very long moment of silence. I mainly just wanted to, give you some more time to just enjoy the game on your own, looking at it, rather.
Do the same thing for
These Mazio gems. Zio specifically refers to our electricity skills. So, like Magaru, which is a wind gem, we now have, like, electricity gems, which is so useful because the only person that can use electricity in our entire party is Pixie, who I rarely ever pulled out. These gems are going to be really helpful.
One teleporter sighted. It'll take us back to the entrance, but I'm down to keep going.
Looks like we've mapped.
We got the upper hand.
I'll go with.
Come, Persona.
All right. The enemy's down.
I'm ready.
It's all you.
Hell yeah, let's do it. Two of them left.
Yuri's taken one down.
Last one.
Yuri's taken one down.
Go for it.
What to do?
Angel.
The enemy's down.
You're on a roll.
You won. Now let's move on.
All right, now.
There's 2. Here's your chance to
Let's see.
attack.
Let's do this. Persona.
Enemy down. Keep that up, Yuri.
Substitution.
I'll go with.
Come, Persona.
This is our.
You're on a roll.
Let's do it.
Perfecto.
through. Here's your chance to attack. Enemy down. Hit that up, Yuri.
What to do?
This is...
Get ready.
Nailed it! Nice going, Junpei. Time to show you what I got!
Hold on! Takeba's under distress.
Can't let this go to waste. What can I do?
Iori's distressed.
This should help.
What to do?
Alright, the enemy's down.
It's all you.
Give him hell. Turn it! Did you see that?
Oh, pretty well.
Let's see. Turn it!
Enemy down. Keep that up, Iori.
Suck on that!
Enemy down. Keep that up,
I'm
Iori.
ready.
Go for it!
Leave it to me. Pull the trigger. I won't lose.
Nice work, son!
We're not gonna go easy.
New persona time! It's Silky, who is from Irish and Scottish mythology. Pretty interesting already. They have one ice skill and are mainly a support persona in both healing and status conditions, which is really nice. Now, what makes Silky interesting is the Irish and Scottish mythology behind them. They are female fae, okay? They're clothed in silk from the borders of Scotland, and that's where they get the name Silky, okay? But they also do household chores, weirdly enough. Like, they are literally spirits that go to your house or live in your house and clean it or guard it, and occasionally leave a little bit of a mess in it if they're feeling mischievous like a pixie. I kinda don't understand this. This is a little ridiculous, I guess. I'll look more into Silkies at some other point in time. Maybe I can come back to them like I did with Nekomata. I feel like that'd be really deserved, as I don't know a lot about Silky at all.
A shadow.
Man, I'm parched. I'm gonna go ahead and say there are no... Alright, let's do this! What's the
A
plan?
new enemy has been spotted, and it is the Obsessed Cupid. This is just a baby with wings and a bow. I just don't have a lot to say about these enemies other than, like, naming them out to kind of show you what we're dealing with as we progress onward. Because we're gonna see less of, like, the lower level stuff, like Cowardly Maya, and we're gonna see more unique things like the Ice Raven eventually. I just like pointing these out because, hey, why not? It'd be a fun time.
Yuri's taking one down.
Now's the time.
Appreciate it. I'm going.
No problemo!
Well done. Let's continue exploring.
Whew. Alright, let's get moving.
Hey, let's loot that chest.
Now's the time. I won't lose. Let's finish this.
Talk about finish the enemy.
Stop it now.
All right, you won. Great work out there.
Okay, let's keep...
Found the stairs.
We don't see that kind of chest often. Let's not pass it up. Two targets. You can handle them.
In this situation, I won't lose.
Can't stop me now.
There's a way conquerors now face reality. Never be charity. The enemy you fight covers whole society. My mom's not here, gotta fight.
Can't let this go to waste.
Here, shout out 10 of them. Seize the moment, they destroy the nation. Round slow motion, give me motivation. Back down, dead on the ride. Round the round, spit out. All over, round like a rolling stone, coming in crowd. Watch out for home, they diss it out. Guess what this sound, it bounce on ground. So round up.
Nicely done. Enemy eliminated.
Let's do it.
Have you ever wondered who's been setting up treasure chests here?
I don't know, but it's probably not the shadows, huh? Dude! One teleporter sighted! It'll take us back to the entrance, but I'm down to keep going.
There's a shadow!
It's a group of 3. You have the initiative. All right. The enemy's down. The enemy's down. You're on a roll. Good hit.
Do it.
Leave it to me! Now's the time. Come! Act 2!
Nice
All right.
one!
We're not gonna go easy. This is the end! Yes, we did it! Let's do the same thing for our next fight.
Look at it. Wandering around like a clown. We got the upper hand.
What next?
What's the plan?
Enemy down. Keep that up, Eire.
I'll leave it to you.
Got it. What to do?
All right. The enemy's down.
You're on a roll!
Ha! Perfecto.
Careful. The All right.
Wow, I went 10 minutes without talking at all. That's actually insane. Anyway, here's the next special fight.
I can suggest the most
Sorry
effective
for not
attack.
talking, but it's mainly because I had literally nothing to say. No life stories, no anything. Anyway, meet the Barbaric Beast Wheel. This is actually a unique enemy to this floor. And from what I read up on it, a weaker version of this enemy will appear in later floors. The one thing that makes this fight really unique to me, unlike the Ice Raven fight, is that the hands near it try to build up the fight as the wheel is weak to fire, right? But it's not. And so you fall for it, right? And then you're worried. Then you have to just try out random stuff until one of them clicks. For me, I was lucky to get it instantly with Yukari's Garu. To me, this is what makes a fight really good. Falling into this like false sense of security, like you can do the fight, getting tricked, and then learning from it. And then to top it off, it really encourages you to use shift during the battle. So that's like a second mechanic thrown onto that. One that you've been using for a while now, that you should know how to use. I love this. This is great design for a fight. And to throw something further onto it, to make it even better, the boss is actually durable, so it's going to take you more than just like 1 or 2 rounds to beat the damn thing. It's gonna take you a little bit of time, and depending on what difficulty you picked, it might last like 5 rounds, 7 rounds, I don't know, it's gonna last a while. The very first fight we had in the game was one of the best opening fights in an RPG. This is the best early game boss fight, I'm talking really early game boss fight, that I've encountered, okay? And it's barely a boss, it's a special enemy, I know. But to me, this is how you design an actual fight. Thanks for continuing to watch my channel, even with the big break that I had. I hope you enjoy the other content I'm gonna put out, like the videos of my friends, or really anything I can do. I'll spend some time prepping some things for quality reasons, and hey, maybe you'll see something new that you like. I'll see you all around, okay? Bye.